Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are doing well today. Let's see if we can get this broadcast fired up. Oh my goodness. Okay. Here I am. Okay, this iPad always wants to be a little bit cantankerous and never wants to work correctly, but it looks like we are fired up and ready to go. Oh my gosh. Okay. Happy Friday, you guys. It's so strange. I don't normally schedule classes and videos and that type of thing, because inevitably every time I schedule something, something happens and I'm not able to fulfill that, and then I look like a crazy person. So I'm so glad that so many of you guys are hopping on here. Oh my gosh, that we were able to keep the 6 o'clock time commitment that I posted about earlier today. So I don't know if you guys are excited. I am really excited because this is something like I've never done quite before. You guys know that I do lots of live videos here on my business page and in private classes and that kind of thing. And I am a big journaling / doodle fan, advocate, whatever you want to call it. It goes on everything. And strangely enough, I get a lot of questions about that. And I feel like perhaps you guys are maybe finding that it's a little more difficult than it truly is. And so since I get so many questions about it, I thought that it would be fun just to do a video on nothing but journaling, just all fun things journaling. So I have a lot of really fun examples. Hello, everybody. Miss Charisse and Kathleen and Vicky and Deborah and Dorothy, Joan, Vicky, Connie, Pauline, Michelle, Sharon. Oh my gosh, welcome, everyone. Happy Friday, guys. Or if you're across the pond, Saturday. You guys are probably already early Saturday morning. But I am so excited. I thought it would be super fun just to do a video with nothing but journaling. So I have nearly 40, or maybe I got over 40. I can't remember. I remembered counting near 40 at least before I stopped, but I added a few more throughout the day. So I have nearly 40 or over 40 or however many we get examples of doodling, journaling, whatever you want to call it, that we're going to work on tonight. So I would love to know, give me a like or a heart or something fun like that if you guys actually followed what I asked, if you would like to do to follow along with me, if you guys actually cut some scrap paper up so that you could journal and practice along with me. I would love to know who actually did that today. So give me like a like or a thumbs up, just because I want to know if that whole little alerting you guys that we were going to do this tonight, if that really, if that helped you get prepared and made you guys excited about following along today. So I'm so glad that you're going to enjoy it, Michelle. I'm looking forward to getting to visit tonight, guys. I'm so excited. Hello, Miss Connie and Miss Judy, and hi, Karen. How are you, darling? And Michelle and Kathleen and Claire McDermott Smith. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for hopping in, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get started now. Oh, Miss Charisse has scraps ready to play along. Yay! And Judy too. Oh my gosh, you guys. This just blesses my cotton picking little heart. Oh my word. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. So those of you that are playing along either during the video or going to be completing this after, if you guys watch the replay. So in a few days I'll post, and everybody can, maybe we'll have a little call to action, if you will, and those that played along and created samples, maybe there'll be a fun little gifty that I'll pop in the mail to you. We'll draw for a winner or something fun like that. You guys know my love language is like giving cool stuff away, right? So we're gonna go ahead and get started. And there's Miss Allison. Oh, and Vicky cut too. Wonderful, you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. There's Miss Lynn. Thank you. If you girls, if any of you girls have a group, a Close to My Heart group, or a Facebook page, or you're welcome to even share it on your business page if you're a fellow Close to My Heart consultant. I won't do any promoting or anything like that in the video. You don't have to worry. I'm not poaching anybody's customers. That's not how I roll. But if you have customers or crafty friends that might enjoy a class like this where we're just talking about some journaling, would you please click the share button and just share this in some of those groups? That would be awesome, so that we could get more people on here, and then have more people learn some of these really fun different ways to doodle. So hello, Miss Lynn. Okay, guys, so I am going to go ahead and get started. Now we're going to work on, you tried the to watch party on your, oh my gosh, thank you, Karen, bless your little heart. Okay, guys, so we're going to start in absolutely no particular order. Some of these are going to be very, very simplistic. You guys know that truly is like how I roll, okay? And then some of them are a little more decorative, and which is usually not how I roll, but I really tried to get some good, good variations so that we could show, you know, basically one end of the spectrum to the other, which really was really my goal for this video. And I have someone dumping dirt in front of my window at my house. Oh my gosh, it happens all the time, guys. Like, we're keeping it real, right? The phone rings and all the craziness. I don't have a dog inside, so he's not barking, but anyway, we are going to go ahead and get started. So let's talk really quickly. One of the biggest changes regarding doodling in Close to My Heart World is that you guys had to know this was going to be a big deal for me. Since I doodle all the things, journal all the things, I was so excited when we got 6 brand new journaling pens instead of the one that we've had for many years. So this is the one you guys are probably used to seeing. Many of you guys probably have it in your stash, and it's a fantastic pen. Absolutely nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I adore it. But we have, it has been replaced, and so we were given 6 brand new pens, and I just want to briefly talk with you guys about them. We're going to be using them tonight, and we have 2 different colors. We have the same black that you guys are used to, and then we have a charcoal. And so let me just show you quickly as we get through here. Let me see if I can get 2 purples that have the charcoal and the black. So I'm just going to go through my, oh my gosh, it looks like I have a deck of cards here. So maybe you guys can see the difference. This purple is the black, and then this is the charcoal. So it's just a tiny bit lighter. If you guys don't want that harsh, bold black line, okay, I don't know why you wouldn't, because seriously, that's what makes your projects pop, right? I'm only kidding. It's like to each their own. But if you had something you wanted to keep a little bit softer, then the charcoal is definitely going to be what you want to go for. I tend to lean towards the black. You guys know my love of black. But this is kind of what you can expect with your difference in your shading between the black and the charcoal. Now, in addition to the multiple colors that we received, you guys will notice that we have 3 different sizes in both colors for a total of 6 brand new journaling pens. So you have a 0.5, a 0.3, and a 0.1 in both colors. And so I'm going to show you guys on these before we really get started on the decorative portion of the journaling. I'm going to show you guys the differences in the thicknesses of the lines. Now, this 0.5 I'm sorry, 0.05. You're going to hear me say 0.5 all night long, so just pretend like you know what I'm talking about, okay? Show me a little bit of grace. I'm not the live video queen, I assure you, but we just do the best we can, right? I like to tell people, if I sat around all day and made excuses about all the reasons why I'm not good at this, then I wouldn't get anything accomplished, right? So we're just going to do it. So the one thing that I want to make a note for you guys, and I want to show you, I'm going to demonstrate this for you, is that I tend to have a better result with my doodles. Side note, chasing squirrels around here, or buffalo. We're chasing buffalo. I tend to have a better when I'm doodling, I tend to have a better result if I doodle on top of something that's a little bit spongy. So you guys know we stamp on the back of our Versamats, or the back of, like, this is the old Fiskars piercing mat that we had for a while, or you could even stamp on the foam that comes in your stamp sets. But I feel like I have a much better result when I stamp on something foamy. So that's why you guys see me flipping this over, and I'm going to doodle on top of this for a couple of reasons. We'll talk a little more about the height difference and all of that as we go on in the class. But I want to show you guys one of the things that I noticed right away when I started playing with the journaling pens, okay? So this is the white one. This is the one we had previous to this idea book, and it is listed as a 0.05 width, okay? So this is what it looks like when I doodle, okay? Even if I press really, really hard, it doesn't get much brighter than that, much wider than that, okay? This is what I want you guys to make note of. This is a 0.05, right? This is the new biggest black. This new black is also listed as the 0.05, but look at the difference. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Look how much bolder that is. Can you guys see that? I will put it a little closer to the camera. Can you see that? That is crazy. It's very, very bold. And I find that that is probably not even as bold as it gets. I was just using it right before I turned the class on, and it was like very wide on the scrapbook page that I was putting it around. Can you see that? Isn't that crazy? So you can see that's much wider than the old white pen that's also listed at 0.05, right? Deborah says 0.1 is great for thin papers, tends to not bleed through, and you use it for Bible journaling in your planner. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. I love that. I totally love that. So that is what you guys can expect from the 0.05. Now let's have a look at the 0.03, okay? This is actually right now my preferred size, unless I just specifically have something that I'm doing, but for the most of my just standard journaling, this is my favorite, the middle black. You can see that is most like the white pen that we had before, which is this little line over here, okay? So we're getting a little bit narrower. Now let's have a look at the 0.01. It is very, very fine, which is very fun for a lot of reasons, but you guys can see there again how we are decreasing in width. And of course, your charcoal would be the very same type of thing. So you guys can see the differences in the width, and that they're really, initially I thought, I don't really know if there's a place for all three of them, and I totally take that back. I stand corrected. There is a place for all three of them, depending on what we're doing, and we're gonna demonstrate some of that this evening. So get your papers out. Let's get to work, right? So disclaimer, lots of allergies. If you guys watch me online, then you know I have lots of allergies, and you just have to show me a little bit of grace because it's just how I roll. Okay. So the most simplistic that you guys can absolutely expect is just your standard straight line, okay? So I'm just grabbing the 0.05, and we're just going to, on the cards that I cards, scraps, whatever you want to call it, that I started, we're going to work on, some of them we're going to change the pins so you guys can see the different looks. We're going to work on some corners. Some of them have some funky corners and that kind of thing, just to give you guys some ideas. And the fun thing is that whenever you're done with the video, you'll be able to basically have journaling inspiration, because you'll have all of these little swatches that you can pull out anytime you want to add a little bit of pizzazz to your projects, right? So this is just the 0.05, and if we're just creating a straight line, you guys, one of the things, and this is what I get the most questions about, when I am doodling, I'm certain that everybody has their own way. I'm certain of it. I am also, again, we're chasing a buffalo. These are not like a roller pen, okay? They're more like a felt tip marker type of thing. And so I do tend to put the lid back on in the moments that I am, adhering more paper or changing something around, or in this case, I'm visiting. So I don't want that to get dried and kind of crusty and not work correctly. So that's why I put my cap back on, just so you guys know what's happening during the class. But the thing that I get the most questions about is, how do you get your lines so straight? And let me tell you why. Remember I told you that I really enjoy doodling on top of something spongy because I feel like I get a much better result, much more even type coverage, if you will. And so I love the fact that my little Fiskars mat is foamy, or my Versamat. I just don't choose to use it because it's under my work surface and it's a lot easier to not have to flip it over. But I love the fact that I have a depth discrepancy here, if you will. So this is about 1/4 inch tall. And I like the idea. It helps me a little bit to keep my lines straight if I keep my paper up on top of my mat and my hand is resting on my work surface down here, okay? That helps me a little bit to have that height difference. Now, I have a team member who is addicted to this method, and what she actually does is she will press her pinky finger up against this mat and hold her pen completely steady and go down it just like the rail on your paper trimmer, and her lines are absolutely straight as an arrow. It's crazy. I prefer to embrace a little bit more of a whimsical feel, so the little zigs and zags and the natural curvature of my hand doesn't tend to bother me at all. And so this is going to be just a personal preference for everyone, who's the artist. You guys are going to decide what you prefer, the look that you like best. There may be some of these in here that you go, yeah, Suze, that's totally not for me. And that's okay, right? But this is what works best for me. Now, let me show you what I'm actually doing with my hand. So you guys, my journaling pen is just resting very lightly in my hand, okay? There's really not going to be a lot of pressure happening up here on this part. Now, what I'm going to do is, you guys are not going to be able to see it on camera, but the pressure that's going to be touching my work surface is going to be right here on the bottom of my hand and right here where it meets my wrist, okay? In the video on my business page, you are only going to see me pull this journaling pen back towards my body. You are never going to see me going up here across, you know, this way on a line or over here on the left. I'm always have one motion every single time. I rest my hand on my work surface and I'm pulling my arm back towards my chest every single time. Again, that is how I get the straight lines, okay? So again, I'm going to repeat, it's worth repeating. You guys are gonna find a way that works best for you, and it may not be this, but I'm going to give you, tell you what works best for me so that maybe you guys can find something that's really gonna work for you and you're really gonna embrace this and enjoy it. So I do assure you, I have said this many times, if you guys create two of a like project, maybe you have two greeting cards that you're creating, I dare you, double dog dare you, if that's even still a thing. I'm 38. Am I 38 or 37? I'm 38. Oh my gosh. I'm old enough that I forgot. I'm 38 years old, and when I was little, that was kind of like the big deal, a double dog dare you. So I double dog dare you guys to take two cards or two projects that are exactly the same and put doodles around one of them and no doodles around the other, and tell me which one you like best, which one pops out to you, which one looks more handcrafted, looks like you put a little bit of polish on it. I'd almost guarantee you guys are gonna lean towards the one with the journaling around the outside, because it just, I feel, just brings your project to life. Again, my personal opinion, and you may disagree, and that is okay. So again, we're just going to work on a straight line on this one, okay? So I have my pen resting very lightly in my hand. It's not pressure at all. And I'm going to put the pressure on the bottom of my hand, and that is going to be resting on my work surface. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay my pen down here, and I'm just going to pull my arm back towards me, okay? It's never going to be perfect. I think that's the fun part about it, right? Is that you get a little bit of that whimsical feel. Remember, we're handcrafting things, right? So you don't want it to look like a machine did it. So this is, I would consider, fairly straight, right? I would consider anyway. And then again, as I mentioned, I just turn my paper, or you can turn your mat. If your mat was like this, you could absolutely just turn your mat if you wanted to do that. But I'm always going to turn it so that I'm using the very same motion back towards me, okay? And then meet up with my corners that way, okay? So that's your straight edge journaling. Now we're going to just give it a little tiny bit of variation going, pardon me, forward, and then the hiccups usually start whenever I turn the camera on as well. So you can tell on this one, you guys, this is a sheet of, this is a canary scrap, by the way, the dark side, I believe. Yes, it's the dark side of the canary. So this was actually done with the charcoal pen, okay? Can you see how light that is? Granted, we are on colored cardstock, which of course is going to mute it a little bit instead of the white cardstock that many times we're using. I don't know about you guys, but I love to journal around, I love to doodle around the outside of a card base. I frequently will create cards that only have the paper that spans 4 inches across, because I can get 3 of those 4-inch sections out of a 12-inch piece of paper with no leftovers, instead of the 4 1/4, right? Because that gives you only 2 and then you have leftovers. It's weird the way my brain works. It's totally crazy. But so I will usually leave 1/8 of an inch border around my entire card base, top and bottom. So it's a perfect opportunity for me to doodle around the outside, which I love to do. You guys have watched me do it a ton of times. So this is going to be a way that you guys can absolutely, something like that, you can use the straight line doodles, or something that doesn't have a lot of width. We're going to get into the doodles that have a lot of width here in a moment, but this is going to be, you can see, this was the charcoal there, and can you guys see, we just went and then we stopped. And then we went and then we stopped. So we're just adding a little tiny bit of visual interest. You guys have heard me talk before about, again, I'm sharing a little bit of what goes through my brain, because I so often get the question of why did I do it that way. But I like to, when there's an empty space on a project, I like to occasionally draw a little bit of interest there, without having sensory overload. You guys have heard me talk about, I need to have a place for my eyes to rest when I look at a project. If it's too cluttered, your eyes don't have anywhere to rest, and it's a little bit difficult to concentrate and kind of see what's going on, right? A little sensory overload, if you will. Me and my autistic kiddo, we have a lot of things we talk about like that, sensory overload. So Are many ways that I love to fill in some of those spaces. I'm not a fan of white space, in a very soft way that's not going to be sensory overload. So you can absolutely, whenever you journal for something similar to this. So we're just gonna create another example. Okay, so we're just gonna go straight line. Then we're stopping. We're gonna go again. I know, like, this is not rocket science. I know this, but the fun part is that you guys, where you choose to break this up, let's just say you guys were doodling on the edge of a scrapbook page, okay? Where you guys break up this line is most generally where your eye is going to go, right? It's going to naturally draw your eye there. And so if you have a scrapbook page or a portion on a card where maybe the corner of the card doesn't have an embellishment, or it doesn't have the edge of the paper that goes down towards there, you guys might notice that this could be a way to draw your eye there. Now, let me show you an example. I don't know why I didn't think to grab this. If you can just forgive me for grabbing a couple examples. Hang on just a second. I don't know why I didn't think to do this before I turned the phone on, but just please be patient with me. Hang on. I know, guys. Hang on. I didn't go anywhere. Let's see. I actually didn't find very many cards to be a really good example for what I'm trying to illustrate, but you guys might consider, like, if you had some open space. Okay, so we kind of have like a lot going on down here, right? You've got your sentiment. This whole card is like really old. Oh my gosh, it's like over 3 years old. Holy cow. Did you guys all remember the magical paper from a long time ago? So this card, we have a lot going on down here, but you can see that this would be something that kind of draws your eye up here when you have the little break in the lines way up here. So it was kind of a fun way to draw your eye up here, yet the card didn't seem a little overwhelming, right? We didn't necessarily need to put any bling up there. The paper kind of just stood out all by itself, that type of thing. Again, this is the same. Again, these are like really bad examples. I should have thought this through a little more. But you can see we're just kind of giving a little bit of interest without really overwhelming what our eyes are focusing on. So if there was a place on your card where you were missing a little piece of paper down in the corner, or it didn't have an embellishment, then maybe you would want to use one of these techniques with the even the more fancy journaling to kind of fill in a little bit of that space without really overwhelming it. I don't know if that makes sense or if I'm just rambling, but again, this is just kind of how my brain works. So again, we're just going to go in the straight line, skip a little bit, and then go back to your corner. And so you guys can see, very cute. And you absolutely, of course. Oh, you like the rainbow card. Jane, I can't remember when we did that workshop. I think it was last year maybe that we had that rainbow collection. That was super fun. I love rainbows. I totally love rainbows. And so you guys can absolutely make your long lines as long as you want or as short as you want, depending on where you want to draw their eye, right? It's like whenever the highway department puts the yellow line down the middle of the road, right? Some of them are long and some of them are short. So that's kind of what we're doing here. So you could do something just as simplistic as the straight line, and then picking up your pen and then putting it back down and leave a little bit of space, okay? So remember, guys, we're starting really super duper simplistic, and we may just get a little bit more intricate as we go along in the night. Who knows how long this class will last? I have no idea. So again, here is the charcoal pen. I'm going to show you guys, I'm pretty sure that was done with the middle charcoal, the 0.3. So I'm going to do the 0.3 of the black so you guys can really tell the difference in the coloring on the colored cardstock, okay? In the difference between the charcoal pen and the black pen is what I'm meaning. So this, we added just a little bit of extra detail in here. Can you see we have used the broken line and then we've just placed a little dot in between them, okay? So again, this is nothing, this is not rocket science, you guys. This does not take a lot of brain power. You can teach this to anyone. A child can probably do this. So I know this is stuff that you guys have probably seen, but I thought that it would be fun just to cover some of these really basic things. Maybe for somebody that does not know how to do all of this. So you guys can see, we're just drawing, dot, and you guys, again, you can put your dots as close together if you want, or far apart as you want. What you might consider if we are working on, remember, if we're working on using the doodles to not only add a little bit of visual interest, but to draw their eye to maybe a blank place, then what you guys might consider doing is after you've completed, I usually doodle very last if I'm working on a card or a page. It's usually very last if it's on the outside. Of course, I'm going to doodle my middle pieces first before I adhere them down, because again, you revert back to I put them on the little foam thing and turn it and all of that, so it'd be difficult to do when it was adhered down. But you guys might consider, if you're doing something with the purpose of drawing interest to like a little bit of a more blank space on your project, you guys actually might go through and add your dots around your border before you add your lines. Sometimes when I start doodling, I forget where I need to stop and start, so it's easier if you guys will go and put your dot or your little dashes or whatever you're going to do, and then you just fill in your lines in the middle, right? So again, we're just going to connect these, or not connect them, I guess. We're going to doodle up next to them, okay? So stick your little dots as far away or as close as you would like, but that is another variation right there. Here is another one that is super, super fun. Well, I'll show you the face. There, my internet cut out just a minute, but you guys, I don't think, missed anything. Okay, so let's see if we can get this broadcast pulled back up here. Come on, tablet, do your thing. Oh my gosh. Listen, Mr. iPad. Okay, hopefully we're back on. Maybe. It says error loading. Oh my word. Okay. Come on. Well, it says error loading. Okay, there we go. Maybe we're back. Now we're back on. Okay, sorry guys. I just didn't want to stand through the whole class and not be able to see your comments. So this is one of my all-time favorites. I love it. Can you see with the charcoal pen there, we've done the straight line with the dashes in the middle, right? Super cute, right? So what I like to do first is exactly what I told you guys before, is you're going to make your dashes, and it's just 2 little bitty tick marks, okay? Make your dashes wherever you want to draw the interest to your doodle, or, you know, draw the eyes of whoever's looking at your project. So put your little tick marks wherever you would like, and then you're just going to connect them. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. Yeah, we lost like 40 viewers. Oh my word, I'm so sorry. Rural internet problems. I'm so sorry. I live in the middle of nowhere. I do the best I can. I am so sorry. Okay, so cute, right? Nothing to it. Nothing to it. So just 2 little tick marks, your lines in the middle. Isn't that stinking, stanking, adorable? I don't think stanking is a word, but we'll use it tonight, right? Cute, cute, cute. Okay, so another variation that's really fun. Can you guys see this one? Look at the X's in the middle. Isn't that super duper cute? I love it. So you could do this 2 ways, okay? You could do your X's similar to what we did with the little tick marks, where the doodle line, the main doodle line, did not overtake, they did not cross where the little tick marks are, okay? So you guys could do it just like this, where you can see here that the main doodle line did not cross over that X, or you can do it where it actually goes through your X. So either way is super cute. And again, it's just a way. So we'll do this side with a couple X's, and we won't cross over them, and then the other side we will do where the X's, or we will cross over them. But it's just something, you guys, just a little tiny bit is going to add so much to your project. I guarantee it. Make two cards or 2 pages that are exactly the same. Doodle on one and don't doodle on the other, and I guarantee you'll like the doodle one better. What tool do you have to hold your journaling pens? Laurel, this is actually I will put the Amazon link underneath the video. The most precious sister consultant, Teresa, sent me some of these. These are actually to hold our brand new Spectrum Noir markers, and they fit perfectly. And so I fell in love with them when she sent them to me as a gift because she's precious. So I had to order some more off of Amazon. So now I have them, and they stack on top of each other, and I have them in some of my close to my heart organizers. And so they actually not only hold the markers perfect, but they hold my shin hand markers that I'm not getting rid of, and they will hold all of my journaling pens, my tools, I have all of my shimmer brushes on one. So yeah, these are not close to my heart, and I generally do not shop outside of our product line. However, she gifted them to me and I fell in love, so I had to order some. You get like 6 trays for $18 on Amazon with free shipping. They're not expensive at all. So if you guys want, I'll put the link below in the video, so you're welcome to go and check them out. Like I said, they do stack on top of each other, but I love, because they're low profile, that I can stick them in some of my low profile shelves. So they were totally awesome. But yeah, I'll put the link after I'm done with the video. So you guys can see, we just put our X's there, and then we doodled right up next to them. Okay, we did not cross the X's there. My phone's not autofocusing, I don't think. So we did not cross over them. But if you wanted to cross over them, like we did in the original sample, you could just go ahead and draw your straight line and then go back and put your X's. It's a little bit easier you're a little bit more in control of your pen, I feel, at least for me. I'm a little more in control of my pen making a little X than I am with my line. So if I'm going to put a notch or a dot or something like that through or on top of my main journaling line, I'm going to do it after I make that line initially. Okay, so that's why when we do it that way, we make the line first before we put the little X on there. Does that make sense? Okay. Pardon me. Oh, allergies are not my friend. Not my friend. Okay, so this is another fun one that is kind of, I will absolutely put the link, you guys. I certainly will. It will be my pleasure, because I think you'll like them as well. So this is another one where I had mentioned you guys can do, remember we showed earlier where you could place, if we can find that original card, here we go. So you can see we doodled right up to the dot, but we didn't cross the dot. So this is a fun thing that we can do. This would be fun if you guys chose to use the smaller journaling pen. So this is the 0.01, and you created your long line. Remember I told you I'm in more control of the little tiny pieces than I am the big straight line. So I make the straight line first when something is going to go on top of that line, okay? So I used the 0.1 for my big journal line. And the reason why this container actually made it onto the video is because I've taught myself now, it's up on my art surface, in this order. My pins are stayed where they are, the 5, the 3, and the 1, the 5, the 3, and the 1. And I knew that if I didn't keep them on this organizer and they were like rolling around on my desk, that I would never keep them straight. And that was kind of one of the purposes of the video, was to talk to you guys about the differences. So that's kind of why this even made it into the camera. I don't usually show things that aren't close to my heart, but I'm glad that you guys like them. So that's why I did that, just because I didn't want to get myself mixed up. But this is the medium. This is the 0.3, okay? So it's a little bit bigger than that 0.1, okay? And so you guys can see, again, we're just going to make our dots right on top of there, okay? I'll show you what the 0.5 looks like as well. It's going to be significantly bigger because this pen is really just crazy fat, okay? So you can see, very bold and super cute. And you guys can space them out differently. You can put a cluster of a couple here. You could put 3 or 4 of them together. Again, remember, it's about an additional way for you to draw interest to a spot that's a little bit blank, maybe needs a little bit of jazz without really overpowering it, right? So that's cute, right? With the little dots in the middle there. Super duper cute, I think, anyway. Okay. So now, here is another one that's totally fun. Okay, so you guys can see, we have taken the one doodle line around the perimeter of the cardstock, and then we've created cute little arrows, okay? So what we're gonna do again is we will use the smaller pen. And guys, I'm not showing love to the charcoal. I'm just using the black tonight because I feel like you're probably gonna see it on camera a little better since I am a ways away from my work surface. But we are going to first create our doodle line down. Now, if we're gonna start adding a little bit of depth to the borders, you guys just need to remember that you're gonna want to put your line inside your border just a little bit more than what you did initially, like if we were just doing the straight line or the broken line or the one with the dots or something like that, because you need room for your little arrow tabs to be sticking out there. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we've come in just a little bit more. And I'm going to make my line very first. And as you guys will notice, When I'm making those straight lines, I turn my paper and I just continue to pull back towards my chest. If I cannot even imagine how wiggly that line would be if I had to go from left to right or right to left. I'm always just going forward and then back towards me is what I do. And so what I think is fun is we use the 0.01 on our main journal line, and then we're going to grab that middle one again. And all we're going to do, pardon me, oh my goodness. Okay, all we're going to do is you guys are just going to make a little tick mark down, down. Oh my gosh, isn't that super cute? Just a cute little arrow. Again, just a fun way to add a little bit of something to draw your eye if you have a little bit of a blank space. So that's what the medium looked like. I'll just show you with this great big fat old pen here. I kind of wonder if maybe I didn't get a defective one because it's really, really thick. It almost does kind of look like mine is leaking. So I wonder if maybe I didn't get a defective one. I have to say on some of my projects, I kind of like the big fat mess there, but isn't that super cute? It just adds a little tiny bit of pizzazz and I adore it. I adore the arrows so much. They are super cute. So next we have just a little bit of we have a few more of those tick marks again, guys. And since our line is not going to go through them, okay, kind of like our X's did, our X's or our arrows, since our line is not going through them, we're going to put our tick marks down before we draw around them. That's just going to give us a little more precision about what we're doing. Instead of, you might find yourself concentrating so much on making your line straight that you forget, oh shoot, I should have stopped back there so I could have put my little tick marks there. So to me, it's just a little bit easier if I make my tick marks before I do my doodles. Now, these are pretty big tick marks. That probably wasn't a great idea, but it just reminds me that I need to make my line a little bit further out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure maybe I have a defective pen. I'm going to grab a paper towel. Hang on just a minute. I guess that's not very good advertising, huh? The great thing about Close to My Heart is that if you have a defective product, you just have to let them know and they will send you another one, no questions asked. They're so great about replacing things. So just know, guys, if you buy Close to My Heart products, they are awesome at replacing them. So, okay. So I wiped that off just a little bit. It'll probably happen again tonight. So maybe the real 0.5 pen is not quite so runny. Maybe I have a defective one, but it will work for now. So we're just going to continue on. You guys can see we are a little bit further away from the border of our cardstock, but how cute are those little tick marks? That's one longer one in the middle and then two shorties on the side. Cute, right? Super duper cute. And then this is what the three, where they're all basically the same size, kind of looks like over here. So super, super cute. Okay. So moving on. Again, you guys, I told you these were not in any order. This is another super simplistic one. This is so great if you guys were moving around like a card base or something like that. Remember I told you that, yes, I stepped away from again, because I want to show you guys just an example. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry. Wow, what a train wreck of a video. Remember I warned you, we have train wreck of a videos around here. Okay, so like this one, this is a good example of the cardstock being 4 inches across instead of 4 1/4. It didn't go all the way to the edge. So I have this 1/8 of an inch border all the way around my card. So see, this is a fun, we've used just the straight technique there, but this is another example if you guys wanted to add a little bit of visual interest that you could do the dashes, the equal dashes. We've done a lot of we've got the longer dashes, you guys could do the dots there, because remember, you don't have a great big space to play with, right? Because we just have an 1/8 of an inch. So for on a card like this, there's not a whole lot of quiet space on a card like this, but if I wanted to purposefully make my journaling to where it drew my eye to a quiet space on here, if I had a quiet space, but I don't, this would be a good example of where you guys could enter one of those larger type, the little more decorative doodles, where it's not just a straight line, you have a little bit more space to play with. Does that make sense? And then on our rainbow here as well, you could do some of those doodle lines that are a little bit fatter because you have more space here to play with, whereas on this card, we have to keep it kind of low profile. So, oh, Jane, bless your heart. I see all of your hearts. You are always so encouraging to me. I'm just so grateful to you. You make me feel a little less klutzy, maybe. So these are just some quick dashes. And again, I'm just going to do the very same thing, guys. We're just pulling our pin. I'm just still pulling it back towards me, okay? You're never going to see me doodle any other way. I'm not going across or anything like that. I'm just pulling back towards me, okay? So very simplistic. It could just add a totally different look. I know this one's really, really simplistic, and we've kind of moved past that, but I told you I kind of shuffled these around, and they're not in any particular order. So this is a super fun one. This is going to be something good for you guys to practice on. So those of you that say, Susan, I could never do that. I don't know how you do that. It makes me nervous. I'm going to ruin my project. This is going to be something fun you guys need to practice on, okay? Just practice moving your arms. I'll just tell you a secret. You know, the reason why I started doodling is I have, it's so weird. I shouldn't even say it on camera, but I have a neurological condition that causes me to have a lot of hand tremors. And I was attempting to do a little bit of outlining around an arrow years ago, and my tremors started kicking in, and I just made a lot of squiggles on the page, and it was really embarrassing, and I didn't know how to cover it up, and I'd already put the page together. It was very frustrating. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to embrace it. I've already pretty much ruined the page anyway. Let's just see what happens. And so I continued to go around the page, and I made my little squiggles, and I thought, wow, I so totally like that. And then I realized that I really liked the imperfection of the doodling more than I liked the straight lines or the borders or the frame around anything. I love the imperfection, which is strange because I'm a very like black and white kind of girl. So this is one that you guys need to practice on. Oh, Jennifer, bless your heart. I am so grateful. That is such a sweet comment. I'm going to click on it to see if I can read the rest of it. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I am so glad. I'm so glad that it's helpful and that you guys enjoy it. Maybe a kind of annoying way to spend your Friday listening to my rambles, but maybe you guys will get a little bit of, learn something new or spark an idea or something like that. So this is a technique you guys need to practice on, okay? Because it's going to help you get over that, oh my gosh, my lines are not too straight. My lines are too crooked. They look like a third grader did it. Just don't worry about that, okay? Get it out of your head. This is something that's totally fun. I'm using the medium pen now. This was the larger one, as you guys can tell. I'm pretty sure my larger one is probably going to die in this little crate here. But this is just, you are just going to embrace putting the wiggles on there, okay? Just totally going to embrace. So don't even look at the edge of your cardstock. Just work on moving your hand, okay? So you could add just a little tiny bit of decorative border there if you would like, without any effort whatsoever. Now, this one coming up is one of my all-time favorites, okay? You guys that are oldies but goodies, I've only been around close to my heart for about 10 years. Some of you guys that were back years ago, remember doodles like this. Wiggle waggles, that's exactly right, Laurel, you got it. So I'm not alone, Michelle, I'm not alone. So this one is super fun, you guys. You remember back in the day, back in the dots day, that you guys did like the little cute little bows? Aren't they super duper duper cute? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love them. So remember, this is another example of you guys needing to move that initial journal line a little bit closer to the inside of your border than what we do with all of the straight lines, okay? Because we need to have room to put our little bows there. So what we're going to do is we will bring our first line down. Again, you guys see how I just flipped that paper? I'm always going this direction, okay? That is really my biggest tip, is find which way that just naturally you're able to control your pen, able to control your arm, the most precision, and that's the direction that you need to doodle, okay? You don't have to do it my way. Do it what is most comfortable to you. So then, the only thing we're doing to create these cute little bows is you guys are just 2 little bitty circles. See? Isn't that adorable? 2 little bitty circles. That is stinking adorable. Stinking adorable. I cannot remember if we put some in the corner on one of these tags. I kind of think that we did, but just in case we didn't, I will show you that they're super cute in the corners as well. Isn't that adorable? Now, doesn't that make an adorable corner there? I love it. I totally love it. So just one of the solid lines. Happy Friday to you as well, Miss Danielle. Thanks for tuning in. So remember, this one, just like the others, we're just one solid line down and then two little tiny bitty old ovals or whatever, squiggles or whatever you want to call them. Pretty much if you stick two things together, it's probably going to look like a bow. If you want to make it look more, I'm pretty sure I already have the bow on another one of the cards, so we're going to show that one here in a bit as well. But this one is super cute too. This is also another one, you guys, that you just are going to have to embrace the imperfection, okay? It helps for me to diagonal when I go across horizontal. I really struggle. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I am so glad this is helpful, you guys. You're totally, totally blessing my heart. So this is like probably one of the only examples that I have where I'm pretty sure I demonstrated this when I practiced before we started the class, that I did this left to right for the sole reason that I was purposefully not wanting to make a straight line, okay? I wanted to embrace the squiggles and the wiggles and all of that just to make it look very, what is that word? Is authentic the right word? Where, I don't know, I don't think that's the right word, but we want to make it look very original, okay? So we're just going to start at our corner. And you can go any way that you want. Just, you can make a loop-de-loop up, you can make a loop-de-loop down. I just made a little bit of a, I don't know, we're going to go with wiggle waggle because I don't know what else to call it. Here I am making a fool of myself in front of 30 of my closest friends and strangers. So just make it look as, I'm still drawing a blank on that word. What is that word I'm looking for, you guys? Where it looks very original. What is that stinking word? So you're just going to, I'm just not paying attention to the edge of my paper. I'm just paying more attention to my hand, my pen, making a little loop or something like that. So you can see, none of it's going to look the same. If you like for every single border to be a little bit different, then this is going to be your jam, okay? So that was kind of the same thing. Here is another fun one where we did a little bit of the X's, of course. Yes, I know you guys are looking at this going, Susan, this is not rocket science and we know how to do all of this. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. And I didn't tell you guys as well, if this is popping up, if you guys can see captions, I'm curious, could you tell me if you see captions? I tried to turn those on, but I figured they might be a little bit annoying to some people. So when I was testing it today, authentic, oh my gosh, yes, that is, yes, I think that's it. I think that's the word I'm looking for, Jennifer. So maybe that was the word I was saying. Thank you. But if the captions are showing for you guys and they're driving you crazy, if you'll double click the video to make it bigger, they should go away. I tested it several times today, but I couldn't see them on all of my videos. I could just see them on a few. So if they're showing up, then I'm glad for my hearing impaired friends. But if you want to get rid of them, then double click and they should go away, okay? So we could just do something like, just some quick X's, just again, remember, we're talking about filling in some space, just adding a little bit of interest to some different places that might be a little bit bare, right? And so this is something really fun that I have used on scrapbook pages. So sometimes when we're working with a project that's a little bit more scaled down, like a greeting card, something like this can get a little bit overpowering, right? Remember we talked about looking at a project and not having any quiet space where there's no space for your eyes to rest, right? So this is something that I generally don't use on a card, but I sometimes will stick it up in the corner of a scrapbook page or down in the, a part that doesn't have photos or no embellishments, and you just kind of have that open space. This just kind of fills it in a little bit. You're going to kind of let it know that we did pay it a little bit of attention and we didn't ignore it, like the middle child or something like that. Here is another one that is just totally fun. Again, I told you guys, these are not in any particular order. So this, again, it goes back to the simplistic. So this is just the dash. This is a double dash right next to each other. And this is another example of you guys are going to want to make sure that you have a little bit of space to be able to work with, because it's not going to fit in that 1/8 inch border if you create your cards in the very same size orientations that I do. Saturday morning here, just back for a bit. We have to, oh, thank you for tuning in, Karen. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday, darling. So we are going to just pull down. We're going to put a dash here. And then you could put another dash here. Make them all different lengths, okay? Don't make them match. That we're embracing the difference in lines and that type of thing. And so then, in order to fill those in, guys, we're just going to go on the inside of them and create another shorter dashed line, okay? Again, I know this is not rocket science. You don't have to send me a message and tell me that, okay? Just giving you some ideas. And I feel like if you guys want to create just a few of these scraps like I'm doing, and then stick them, you know, you could even like punch them with a hole punch and put them on a ring, one of those little binder rings, and stick them in your craft space, that next time you guys are working on a project, you might just quickly flip through here on the different examples that you guys did and maybe get some other ideas for adding some little, you know, some pizzazz to your projects. Hello, beautiful. How are you, Miss Linda? Okay, guys, so here is another fun one. Now, remember I talked to you about how when I'm in control of my pen and when I'm not in control of my pen, what I want to do, as you guys will see, we have some wiggle space here, and then we have some straight lines. Can you guys see that? If my phone will autofocus. And so what I find is easier for me is if I go and I take care of the wiggles, not while I'm doing the line, okay? So what I want to do is I want to create my wiggles, and then I'm going to fill it back in with the line, okay? Then I'm just going to connect them. So you have the beautiful straight 90-degree corners here, like we meant to do it that way, right? And then we're going to go and connect this, and it's going to be straight as an arrow again, or kind of straight. And then connect this corner down here. But then we have these really super duper cute, like little kids that get out of line, right? We have these really super cute little wiggles right there in the middle. So that's another idea you guys could do to give it a little bit of interest around the outside. Oh my gosh, this is another one of my absolute favorites. So this is like a little heartbeat. Isn't that super cute? I'm not sure why I didn't think to do my examples in the charcoal, because you think you guys could probably see them a little bit better. But that is super cute, right? So just like we did with the wiggles, it's very difficult for me to make a line and then make the zigzags and then make the line. I just prefer to do all of my zigzags and then connect them in the middle with my doodles, okay? Now the zigzag is something that I find, pardon me, is easier to do not going down the page, because it's just a very unnatural movement for my hand, and it's much easier for me to control if I do it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with a little zigzag, and then I have a big one, and then a little one, and then I stop, okay? So little zigzag, and then a big one, and then I stop. So they don't all have to match. They don't have to be the same length or anything like that. It's just about adding a little bit of pizzazz there. And so this is a fun one that you guys could use on a scrapbook page, because again, it's a much larger project, and it's not going to look so overwhelming if you do it on a card and the card is already a little bit busy. And so then what we would do is you're going to connect your dots. Okay, isn't that super cute? And if you have, just like we are, you guys can see we're quite a bit further from the edge here than we normally are on, like whenever we do the straight line doodles, right? You're further from the edge because you have more of a dimension on this little bit of interest here, okay? So you guys can see, if my EKG, that's exactly right, Joan, exactly right. So if your little, maybe when you created your line, your little heartbeat, and you did not get it up to the very space that your main journaling line is going to go, all you have to do is just easily connect it. It's no big deal. Okay, so you don't even realize, you don't even know that you did that. See how easy it is to correct? That's why I tell you guys, you cannot mess this up. It's so fun to do. It's never going to look the same way twice. No one's ever going to be able to copy it exactly. And it's just a way to really kind of like put your little mark on your project, right? Put your mark on your project. Okay, so this is a fun one. So we have just a little loop-de-loop line, kind of like a curved line with just a little bit of a, I don't know what we would call it on the end. It's just got a little hook on the end, but super cute. This is more of, I would say, type of an elegant border. This would be really cute on a, like an elegant type of greeting card to kind of go around there. But again, very, very easy. This is another one that's that is more of a natural curvature of my hand to do it horizontal instead of going down the side like we were doing on the straight line doodles, okay? So what we're going to do is we're just going to, and put your little loop-de-loops on the end. This one might take a little bit of practice for you guys to get your curves correct, to get them to line up correctly on your borders. The borders are what I struggle with on the most. This one's pretty good down here, but I do tend to struggle a little bit on the borders. So we'll try this one again. We're going to start out here right next to this one. We're going to do a little loop-de-loop and then back up and curve it again. Okay, so that's not too bad, but I could use some practice. So there we go. Just cute, right? Nothing to it, you guys. And again, this is another good example. You can see that these are the same size pens. This is a charcoal, this is the black, and so your black is quite a bit bolder. It's almost the difference between a pigment ink pad and a dye-based ink pad, where the dye is going to soak into the cardstock and the pigment's going to sit on top, thus giving it a much bolder, brighter color. That's kind of what it reminds me of, but that's the difference in the black and the charcoal. So get that one out of the way. Okay, this is another one that's just super duper duper easy, although I have a trick to show you. You guys could absolutely grab you some sticky notes, okay? You guys are, I'm sharing all of my cheating secrets. As you can see here, we have just a bunch of these little bitty dashes, okay? If you guys want to make sure that you can keep them all lined up together and not go too far into your project, you can put down a sticky note. I'm placing this about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of the cardstock. Okay, you guys can see that. And of course, the good thing about the sticky note is it's just like washi tape. It's going to peel right off. Okay, so when you're done with it, you're not going to rip anything. Don't worry about that. But I'm placing it where I'm eyeballing it, so it's pretty flush to the edge of this cardstock. And then what we're going to do is you're just going to start and just start making your little tick marks around here. Okay, and with the help of the sticky note, see, I'm paying more attention to my spacing between where I first put my pen down and where the outside of the cardstock is. That is what I'm more paying attention to, is I want to have the border around this edge of my tick mark and my cardstock to be fairly symmetrical, so it kind of sort of a little bit looks like I know what I'm doing, which is why I'm not paying attention to where I'm picking my pen up and pulling it back up off of the cardstock, okay? So I'm going to show you guys why that's important here in a minute. So I am watching where I put my pen down, and I'm just pulling back towards me, and I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just watching how close I am to that border, okay? And so, as you guys can see, this of course resulted in a lot of different length little tick marks, right? And so the beauty is that you're going to pull that sticky note off and look, they're all exactly even now. How fun is that, right? So it really totally looks like you did plan this out. You really knew what you were doing, but we just cheated and used a sticky note. So that is something else you guys, of course, can use this trick with some of the other types of doodling that we're working with if you guys want to do that. But this really, with the tick marks, really showed, it really illustrated this the best. So, and then of course, if you guys want to continue on, maybe you're doing this on a scrapbooking page, and of course your scrapbooking page is a lot longer than your sticky note. So then of course, just go and line it up again, place it back down, and then continue on with your tick marks, and you'll have a beautiful row of perfectly lined tick marks. Super cool, right? Okay, so moving that one out of the way. This one, okay, I think we showed this one with the three tick marks with the largest one in the middle. I'm pretty sure that we went ahead and I talked about that one while we were on another card. Okay, so here's another fun one that I adore. This again were those cute little bows. Okay, guys, so we've just stuck it right here in the corner. I think that I did probably demonstrate this a minute ago, but we're going to do it again anyway. We're going to act like we know what we're doing tonight, okay? We still have several captive souls that are with us. Oh my gosh, you guys are a blessing to me. That would want to sit and spend your Friday evening listening to my rambles. Okay, so we just have, again, just that straight line doodle, and then we are just going to put our two cute little bows right in the middle. Isn't that super cute, you guys? How fun would that be? On a lot of our cards, I don't know about you guys, a lot of my cards, I find like I have some white space at the top or the bottom. And so this would be such a perfect way to kind of give a little bit of interest at the top or the bottom, right? To go all the way down, you just have the straight lines and then just two little loop-de-loops right in the middle of your corners. That is stinking adorable. Here is another one that, do not fret, Do not fret. This is not a big deal, okay? I know you guys are like, ooh, I can't make all of those little scallops. So again, we are just pulling it down. We're going to make our baseline first, our straight line first. Now, pardon me, you guys need to decide what is the most natural position for your hand. If you guys say the most natural position to make an even scallop is to go down like this, well then do it. For me, it isn't. I have tested, you could do it upside down and do scallops like this. You could do upside down and make scallops upside down like this. This is what's easiest for me. This is just, again, just the natural flow of my hand, which is why I say, guys, get these cards and practice on them. And then you're going to feel a lot more confident when you guys move to your projects, and you won't be so worried about messing them up, okay? So we're just going to start at the end here, and I'm just making as even as possible. These are not going to be exactly symmetrical. They're not going to be spaced exactly symmetrical. It's not a big deal. I do not care. This is handmade. Really, guys, from my heart, I'm just telling you, for you really to embrace this and start to just like love it, or maybe be a little obsessed like I am, it's going to take you guys getting over all of the imperfections. That's when you're really going to start loving this, is when you stop being worried about your lines being exactly straight, or you made something the wrong size, or whatever. Get over that. From my heart, get over that. Love you dearly. But this is really fun, and it's really quite enjoyable to do. And see, they're not all the same size, and that's totally okay. And I don't even care. I don't even care. That is stinking adorable. Absolutely adorable. Okay, so moving on to another one. This one is super fun. Okay, so something that we could do, you guys remember doodling when we were little. You know, you would, write your names on your notebooks and hearts and stars and all of that. We can just cute little images, or we could do a star. Okay, you can fill them in if you would like, or if not, it doesn't matter. And then you're just going to connect it. Okay, so think of all of the little doodles you guys could put on the edge of your projects just to add a little bit of interest. So you've got your hearts there, there's a star there. So see, just fun things, right? We're going to get into some stamping later on in the class, which is really fun to do. Oh my gosh, that's why I told you guys in that first video, dig out some of your little tiny bitty stamps. You're totally going to have a fun time with them tonight. Okay, so this one I've done on a lot of projects lately. I don't know why, I'm just slightly obsessed with it, but I love it. It is very, pardon me, it's very whimsical, and it's pretty fat too. So again, like we talked about, you guys need to make sure you have a lot of space to put these. It's not going to work on a card, for instance, like this one that only has like 1/8 of an inch border. You're never going to be able, I don't care if you use the tiniest journaling pen we have, you're never going to be able to get all of them in a little 1/8 inch strip. But you can do it on like a scrapbook page or a bigger card. Some of you guys saw my Stamp of the Month card that I showed you where I really embraced this technique. So your key for this one is, again, where you're going to want to place your paper or your project wherever is the natural flow of your hand. Of course, you guys know by now, mine is just pulling towards me, okay? So you're just going to start at your corner, and you're not going to think too much about it. I know that sounds so silly, but I don't want you to overthink it. So you're just going to start at your corner, and you're just going to focus on, let's see. I find that this little tiny bitty journaling pen gets a little sticky every time I open it, so I have to rub it on some scratch paper to kind of get it to working again. So I'm using my little one because if I use my fat one, I'm really going to cover this up very quickly. So I'm using the smallest, the .01 black pen, and I'm starting at my corner, and I'm just going to make an over-exaggerated curve. You can make as many of them as you would like. It does not matter. Just go crazy, okay? But you want to end back at about the same depth, the same distance from the edge of your cardstock. You can see we're about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. We've finished about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. You want to just try to keep the symmetrical, symmetrical is not the right word. Oh my gosh. You want to keep them about the same, oh my goodness, I can't even talk. Hang on just a minute. Just time out. I'm going to get a drink of tea. Oh, my word. Seriously, guys. I just keep it real around here. This is just who I am. So you want to make sure that we keep it about the same distance from the edge, because your second swiggle is going to meet back up in that very same space, okay? In the very same amount of space that you gave it, you need to put your second wiggle in there. So now we're going to go back to the original dot, okay? You can see that all three of these so far are lining up in the very same place, which is why it looks so pretty on like big open white space, because it meets back to that same corner and it just really finishes it off quite well. I'm so happy with this look on big white open spaces. So we're just going to pick right back up at that very same dot, and we're just going to over exaggerate the opposite way. Okay, so where we went left here and then right and then left again, we're going to go right and then left and then right again, and then meet back at this end dot. So watch my hands. We are going to go right, cross over left, cross over right, and then meet back at that dot. Cute, right? Isn't that cute? And so then on your short side, same thing. We're going to start at the dot. I'm going to go left and then right. We'll just put 2 in here this time. And so then when we finish with our second line, we're going to start back at that dot and go right and then left and meet back at that dot. Isn't that adorable? Look how cute that is. There's nothing to it, you guys. It's so easy. Okay, so here we have done the very same thing, only there are those cute little bows that I told you guys about. So we're going to do the very same thing, and then we're going to add bows right where our little doodle lines cross. If my camera will autofocus. Hello, camera. Can you please not be a butthead? Oh my gosh, there we go. Okay, can you guys see those cute little bows there? One of them has a tail, the other 2 do not. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Okay, so remember what we're doing? Place your cardstock where your hand's going to naturally flow the best. We're going to start where you left off at the corner of the other one. So we're going to go down here. We're going to go left, right, left, and then back to the corner, okay? Starting again. We're going to go right, left cross over, right cross over, back to the same dot, okay? See how we did that? Super cute. Okay, so now what I love, this is where you really want to use the small pen so it looks very cute and dainty. This is the 0.1, again, the smallest that we have. So if you guys want to put your bows here, you can put your bows right there in where those 2 little loops meet, and you can put their cute little tails there if you would like. Isn't that stinking adorable? Look how cute that is. Oh my gosh. Think of all of the things you guys could jazz up putting a cute little wiggly doodle line with that little bow in the middle. That's adorable, right? I love it. Okay, so that one. Now, we're going to save the stamping, I think, for in a minute. That one is super fun. We use some bling here. Okay. Okay, so this is a fun one. I have been using stickles a lot. Okay, so now we're going to talk about really getting a little bit more crazy-like, okay? So I've been using a lot of stickles, and you can do a lot of things with them. I've been painting with them. I've been embellishing with them. If you dot them, they're going to look like your adhesive backed bling, but it's like you can get 300 pieces of adhesive backed bling out of this one little teeny bitty jar of $3 stickles. It's very exciting. Hello, Madam Frugal Pants. Nice to meet you. So what you can do, and remember, this goes without saying, you guys already know this. Stickles do not dry instantly. I usually just put them on a project and then set them aside and let them dry for a couple hours, and they're totally fine. But you don't want to goof it up. So just make sure that if you guys are working on a project, that this is the very last thing you do. Or if this is going to be adhered or placed onto like a smaller piece of cardstock, let's just say that I was going to put stickles around the outside of the "You Are a Rainbow." I would want to put this on here and then leave it to dry before I adhered it down to my card, okay? I just again feel like I want to put my doodles, because we're still going to use our journaling pen, but I feel like I have the most control over my journaling pen the smaller the project that I'm messing with, like the closer I can get to the outside of the page or the piece, so I can be moving down the side of my mat. It just works better for me. So if I was going to recreate this card with stickles right here, I would put the stickles on this piece here before it ever even got adhered to this card. Then I have to let it dry, which is the only bad thing about stickles. Then I would adhere it, okay? So sorry if I'm talking around in circles. So something that you guys could do that's really fun is, again, I know this isn't rocket science, so don't send me hate mail. Yeah, I know, people really do send me hate mail. I'm not even kidding you. Okay, so what I love, love, love about the stickles is that you absolutely could just make your dot after dot after dot after dot, which is going to provide a little bit of interest around the outside of your piece. But I prefer to do the 2 dots or the 3 dots and then with a line in the middle. Again, it's just anchoring it a little bit better, gives it a little bit more structure. My eye sees structure. I know that's not a descriptive word for a pen mark, but you know what I'm saying, right? So you guys absolutely could you could just place the dots, and I will tell you, you're not going to be able to see this on camera, I know, but we're just going to dot down and then pull up, okay? You want to make sure that you pull straight up with the stickles. If not, if you pull sideways, you're not going to have a dot. It's going to look like a teardrop or something like that. So you guys can see that it's just, if my phone will focus, it's just little tiny dots, and we've just pulled it right up, but you have to make sure that you're pulling straight up, okay? So then if you guys would like to create a fun border that has a couple of the dots, and then you're going to fill in with your journaling pen. If you're coordinated, I'm not sure if I'm coordinated or not, but if you're coordinated, you should be able to do this with your stickles still being wet and not make a mess. But there's no promises this evening, okay? So again, you guys know the drill. You're just going to connect the dots just like we did with the others earlier in the class, okay? So super cute. Another idea for you guys to add a little bit of visual interest around the outside of something. This adds just a little tiny bit of bling bling, okay? Not too much, just enough. So that being said, here is another example. Pardon me. I'm just going to show you a few examples here. I'm not going to put more of these on because they speak for themselves. So this is one of those really fun little, they're like on the clearance rack right now. So any of you guys that shop with Close to My Heart, they're on the clearance rack. These little Jeepers Creepers assortments. Look at these little eyeballs. Aren't they so fun? You could even use like the little lightning bolt or the stars or something that's small that would go around the outside. Remember, you guys are going to need, take in account of your space that you have available before you start sticking stuff in there, okay, to kind of fill up that empty space. But I thought those were really cute. Like, how cute would that be on like a Halloween card or a Halloween page, just to put some little funny eyes around the outside? Isn't that adorable? So there's just a few little eyes there. Go through your stash, you guys. Look at what you already have and grab some little tiny pieces of your bling, maybe little pieces that you guys didn't use on another part of the project that you want to, use and consume, which is like the method to the madness. And it just adds a little bit of interest. It may be not as big enough or large enough to be really a focal point of your project, but it could serve as an accent around the edge, right? So here's an example to show you with just the bitty sparkles, and I've just put them in pairs, and then again I've just added in that straight doodle line connecting them. So again, just fills up a little bit of that space. Imagine this on a card or a scrapbook page. It just gives it a little bit of interest there to say, hello, look, she didn't forget about me over here in the corner, right? Here is the regular size sparkles that you guys are used to seeing. These are just the clear ones, so they're a little bit bigger. So again, you need to keep oh my gosh, can't even think. It's not past my bedtime. I'm staying up late tonight. Oh my word. Be mindful. That's what I'm trying to say. Pardon me. Be mindful of the space that you guys have. Clearly, something like these are not going to work in an 1/8 of an inch border that you have around a card. Clearly, that's going to be something that's going to be better just to create one of your straight type lines that don't take up a lot of real estate, right? But for instance, if you had a card like this, you could certainly utilize some of these wider portions of the doodles, whether you choose to add in like an embellishment or something like that. So pardon me. So this was the clear sparkles, okay? Here were just a few of those old glitter hearts. Again, you guys, I just went through my stash. I just pulled out some old things I had just to give you some ideas. Again, I just want to kind of get your creative juices flowing. I didn't put this one down because I don't want to use these on my little scrap. I want to use them on a project. So I just kind of lightly tacked them down for the demonstration. But these were those really cute. They come in the Hawthorne pack. these really cute little embellishments in here. And one of the things that I talked about in a video just the other day is that you guys have a lot of small little tiny bitty pieces that maybe they're just not ideal for a bigger project. Maybe you just are like, okay, I've had enough of these on the page, I'm not putting any more on there, but you have some bits and pieces that are just left over and they're just sitting in the baggie and you don't really know what to do with them. I had mentioned the other day you guys could put them inside of a shaker window. That would be really fun to put a little wooden accent in there. This is another way that you can use them. Think of some of these really tiny stars or the little leaves or the cute little arrows and place them around the edge here. Isn't that stinking adorable? Adorable, right? And so of course I love the arrows because they just look like they're just kind of framing around there. But then I adhered them down lightly, of course, because I'm gonna jerk them off after this video, and then connected them with the straight doodle line. So super cute. You could also, you know, if you guys really want to add a lot of pizzazz, put your little X's in there like we talked about earlier. Just a little bit more, think of how fun, like whimsical that would look on a scrapbook page. Wouldn't that be super cute? Okay, so that is those are some ideas of ideas that you guys could do with adding some embellishments pairing with your doodling. Now, another thing that I love to do, and I have used to do this a lot on scrapbook pages, is I would add washi tape, okay? So I'm actually going to show you quickly how I did that. There's my washi tape. So I just grab several different size pieces. I purposefully tried to make them not match because I wanted to embrace the imperfection part of it. So I want to make sure that they have really good torn edges, you know, because that's the beauty of washi tape, right? You don't want to cut it with scissors. That's boring. So I'm just going to add it at a diagonal here on purpose, of course. You can see that I have more hanging over the edge here than I do on the other side. And you guys, this is such a fun technique for pages and for cards because it looks cute on the inside too. If you guys open up a greeting card, you're just gonna have this cute little bit of washi tape hanging over the edge. And you guys always hear, if you follow my business, you hear about me talking about cohesiveness a lot. And so I love to have, you know, the left scrapbook page match the right page, and I love to have the outside of my card match the inside of my card. So this is just another element to attribute to that you can just add little pieces, bits and pieces from the outside of your card to the inside. So I'm just putting it on the edge of, pretending like it's a card base, okay, on the edge there. And then of course, you're just going to, see if my pen's gonna leak all over the place. Then you're just going to, again, go right around. I used to do this in scrapbook pages all the time and it looks so cool. And I would just put my washi tape like down in a corner that was kind of bare or where there wasn't a lot of photos or something like that. But isn't that stinking adorable? Look at that. Oh my gosh. I know I'm a crazy person. Yes, I really do dream about this stuff. I'm pitiful, I know, but I love my job and that's all that matters, right? Cute, cute. Okay, so washi tape can be fun. And again, you guys, I know that there are different widths of washi tape. I just prefer the 1/2 inch because I like to fold it over. If you don't want to fold it over, you absolutely could just trim it off on the back, trim it flush with your page if you would like to do that, but I just love the idea of it flipping over. So, okay, so now this is another one that's fun. You're not going to be able, yes, it absolutely adds interest, Renee, exactly, absolutely. So this is one that you guys are not going to be able to see. But I took the black journaling pen. I'm certain you're not going to be able to see it. Maybe if I hold it correctly. Darn it, probably not. But I put the clear shimmer brush on the top. I didn't use the black shimmer brush because I knew that my hand, if I made a mistake or something like that, I didn't want a big black splotch on there, okay? I can deal with crooked doodle lines. I don't want big splotches on my card, right? So what I did was I just took that 0.05 journal pen, and I just, again, made my straight lines. As you guys can see, again, it's just the natural, motion of my hand just to come back to me. And you guys might go right to left to right or whatever works for you is awesome. This is just what works for me. And so then I just took the clear shimmer brush and I made sure that I had a good point on it. Sometimes you guys pick the brushes up and they're kind of messed up, you know, but you want to make sure that you have a good point on it. And then I'm just going down the edge right directly on top of the journaling pen. Remember, the journaling pen is not a permanent ink like our archival black ink. So you guys want to make sure when you re-wetten it with something, especially a shimmer pen, it has a chance of smearing or smudging. So you want to go lightly on top of it. Don't move across it. Don't do any wiggles. Just go right on top of that black line as best you can so that you can prevent from it smearing or smudging anywhere. And I wish that you guys could see that because it's so pretty on this paper. It is gorgeous. It looks like your journaling pen was a black glitter pen, only it wasn't. So this is just a fun way to add additional variety to the Close to My Heart products that we already have and that you already own, okay? So don't forget a journaling pen on top of, or the shimmer brush on top of there is super fun. Okay, this is one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so fun. So you want to go to your stamp sets and you want to pull out some of your little teeny tiny stamp images. You know, like the little teeny tiny images that you guys like we hardly ever use because they're not big enough, you know, really to, they're more of accents instead of like focal pieces. I don't know. I tend to sometimes forget them and don't use them. Shame on me. But I want to show you guys just some fun examples. This stamp set, this is one of the brand new ones. It's called Some Kind of Wonderful. And look up here at these really fun little super duper teeny tiny floral images, right? Look, all these little teeny tiny super duper cute flowers. Oh my gosh, it is so cute. Look at this little dashed line here. How fun would that be to go around the outsides of your projects, right? Super fun. Oh my gosh. You could even use the these very small little vines and that type of thing. But I want to show you guys how fun this is to do. So this one, we use that little flower on, and all you guys are going to do, I just put it on a little teeny tiny block. And you're just going to go around your project. It's a little difficult to see because I'm pushing a little too hard apparently with my block, but because I can't see where I'm stamping because my camera is in the way. But so you want to go the stamping with the or the journaling around the edge with the stamps, you guys, is very much like when we talked about, you know, some of these other elements where you guys are going to want to go place your elements first and get that placement the way that you want it, and then you connect the lines in the middle, okay? Because if you're concentrating so much on your line being straight and not getting your hand out of you know, the correct position and that kind of thing, you're most likely going to go past where you want to put a stamp image or where you want to put the little tick marks or something like that. So put the elements down and then connect the dots in the middle, okay? So just as simple as that. Again, this is another one, you guys, where you have to be mindful of your space. This journaling pen is going to blow up on me. Oh my goodness. So if you guys have one like this, just email home office. They are so great at replacing everything. But that is super cute. Look how bold that is, right? If you wanted to get just really fancy schmancy, this would be fun. In the middle of these cute little flowers, you could put a teeny tiny, like a bitty sequin, or or bitty sparkle. Wouldn't that be super cute? Oh my gosh, super cute. So this might not even be something that you guys want to put on a great big card unless you just have some space you want to fill in. Some of the stamp images I feel like are probably going to mesh a little bit better with a scrapbook page that has a bigger scale, where you're not like, remember, other people might be okay with just like cluttering something up, but I have to have a little bit of blank space, a little bit of quiet space for my eyes to rest when I look at a project. It's just something that I noticed right away. So that was a fun stamp set to use. Now let's look at my favorite stamp set currently, the September stamp of the month, because hello, you all can get it for a discount, right? Go talk to your consultant, ask her how you can get it for a discount. If you don't know, it's awesome. You can get it for $5. So go talk to your consultant, okay? They have the best images on the stamp set, you guys. So it's awesome for card sentiments, of course. I actually did some pages with it as well, but they have awesome little teeny tiny images. So the three that I picked out to demonstrate for you is we use this cute little heart here. This one, it says 100% handmade, and where's the other one? The cute little 3 dot that I never even paid attention to. Are you guys like me, where sometimes you look at stamp sets and you just don't pay attention? There's just some images that don't appeal to you at all. You're thinking, I don't really have a use for those. I don't know what the heck I would do with it. And like literally you have the stamp for 3 years and you've never inked it one time, right? Am I the only one? Okay, this is me. So this is a fun way to use some of these stamps that I normally would not use. Like that little dot there, I would never use it for anything. Nothing except what we're doing right now. Watch me be a liar, and I'll probably find a use for it later on this month when I'm demonstrating it. But that's not something that I would probably ever use. Not at all. But there is a fun way to use it in what we're doing today. Pardon me, allergies hate me. I'm so sorry. Karen, I'm so glad that you enjoy it. Thank you, darling. I am so, so glad. I hope that it serves as a resource for a lot of you guys, that it'll give you, you know, just some inspiration. Again, I know I'm not teaching anything that's groundbreaking. I know that. You don't have to tell me that, but hopefully something that I'm showing you will just spark a little bit of creativity for you guys, and it'll just be inspirational. And that's really what I really wanted to get out of doing the video. So this is that cute little heart that I told you about. So again, we're just going to ink it up. And again, you guys are going to want to be mindful of your space, right? When you're using these kind of like different techniques, when we're adding other things in than just the pen. You want to be mindful of your space, and you want to go ahead and place your stamped image, just like we did with the other elements, where you would like them, and then you can fill in the lines, okay? Because if you're like me, when you start doodling, your hand's not going to quit. It's just going to go all the way to the bottom without really thinking about it, because you're paying attention to your line being straight, right? So you're going to go ahead and put your stamped images where you would like them, and then you just connect your dots, right? That one I got a little far away from the edge, but it's okay because it's just for demonstrating purposes. This would be very noticeable as far away as this is, and it's not very evenly spaced. It would be very noticeable on a card. However, I think it would be very cute and whimsical on a scrapbook page. We probably wouldn't notice it quite that much, but I think that is stinking adorable. Absolutely adorable. So moving on to the next one. Oh my gosh, Janet, I'm so glad it's helpful. I am so glad. I know, right, guys? Like with just the pen, you can add so much jazz to it with just the pen. Renee, absolutely, darling. Absolutely. I just encourage you guys, go cut out just some scrap pieces of paper. Mine are about 2 inches by 4 inches, just because I had figured when I was done with the video, I would hole punch them and put them on a binder ring and stick them in my drawer to use as inspiration later. But just grab scrap, you guys. You don't even have to make them little tiny bitty if you don't want to. Again, I just did this thinking forward that I really wanted to use this as a resource and not just to demonstrate for you guys during the video. So I'm so glad. It blesses my heart that it's enjoyable for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and sending encouragement. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. If y'all knew the amount of hate mail that I got, you would know how much I appreciate your kindness. Oh, it just blesses my heart. So this one is really fun. How adorable would this be? Pardon me, to go on the edge of your greeting card, or even if you said, okay, Suze, the outside of my card is just a little bit, it's got a lot going on there, a lot going on, like there's no room to put anything else on there. Like this card has a lot of stuff happening. This is a bad example of giving your eyes quiet space to rest on a project, which I'm a huge advocate for. I went a little crazy with this. So this would not be a good idea to put this card on, to put this little image on here. But how fun would it be if you guys decided you were going to stick the little 100% handmade around a couple of these edges on here, and then just fill in the lines with the doodles. You could write your sentiment or stamp your sentiment further in the middle, but how adorable would that be? Oh my gosh, adorable, right? So I guarantee you guys are never going to look at those little teeny tiny images on the stamp sets the same ever again. You're going to be thinking, oh my gosh, how can I doodle with those, right? So, oh my gosh, Allison, I'm so glad that you enjoy it. I am so glad. Oh, you guys bless my heart. You absolutely bless my heart. So this is the 100% handmade. Consider adding this one to the inside of a card, you guys. It would be so cute. You could put it on several different sides. Oh my gosh, it would be so cute. So let's see if I can actually get this on the cardstock, because I can't see because my phone is in the way. So we'll see if we can get it lined up. If not, you guys will show me some grace and it'll be okay, right? So get it as close to you can at the edge of the page. You guys also, like, this would be cute to put on like a mini album page or something. I've gotten to the habit of giving a lot of mini albums for gifts, like for Christmas and Mother's Day and that kind of thing. And by the way, there will be a lot more coming, I'm sure, with the brand new stuff that we've released this month. So again, like, go talk to your consultant right away. You will love what she has to tell you. But this would be something that would be so fun to like stamp around the outside of a mini album page, right? Adorable. Just to let everybody know, just in case they forgot, this was 100% handmade by fill in the blank, right? So you're just going to stamp around the edge. And again, you guys are just going to fill in around your border, right? And it doesn't have to be perfect. But isn't that super cute? Look at how it just frames the entire thing. Oh my gosh. I know, Renee. I want to tell you that it doesn't bother me, but it really hurts my heart. I'm a very tender girl, and if they only knew how the mean things they said to me broke my spirit, I think they would feel bad, but you know, whatever. Anyway, yes, so stinking cute on like an album. Absolutely. So that is just like, this might have been something that you guys possibly, you know, some people will put their initials or who the card was made by on the back of their card when they're giving it. So this would be very, very cute, but it would also be very cute to use in this format as well. So just another idea for this one. Now, let's talk about these fun little dots. Oh my gosh. I'm not even kidding you guys. I would never, pardon me, allergies hate me. I would never, ever, ever use these dots for anything except what this, I purposefully went through my stamp sets today when I was planning this video and tried to find some little bitty images that we could place on the outsides of the pieces. And that's the first time I noticed the dots. I never even paid attention until then, and I've been playing a lot with that stamp set. So you guys are gonna look through your stamp sets. Yes, Lorraine, yes, 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 gift tags on your baked goods. Oh my gosh, yes, you could stamp the, oh my gosh, that would be adorable. Yes, yes, yes. See you guys, this is the best part about sharing, is that I feel like a creative, which is what all of us are, I feel like we never reach that point where we feel like we cannot be inspired by someone else. It's interesting that some of my team members have made comments over the years that you just know everything, and there's nothing that I could teach you. And I think to myself, oh my word, no, you are totally wrong. I learn something every time I watch a video that someone else does, no matter how long they've been creating. I learn something new every time. So I feel like by sharing with you guys and maybe inspiring you guys, that you do the same for me. So now I'm gonna have to when I get off the video, I'm gonna be taking notes, writing some of this stuff down, so I don't forget them as well. So in fact, watch me go. Hang on. Tags are gonna be a big one for me because the holidays are coming up, you guys, and I will forget that this is going to be perfect on a tag. So I just made me a little note because I know that I'll forget when I turn the camera off. So again, you guys, here is this whatever little 3 dot that I never paid attention to before the minute that I decided to do this video, but it's so perfect for what we're doing. Oh my gosh. Just like all the others, you guys, we're going to go and put our elements down before we start our doodles. Okay. It's much easier to do that. Put your elements down. Okay, so there's our little 3 dot stamp. I don't know what in the world we're going to call him, but 3 dot stamp sounds right. And then you just connect your lines in the middle, right? Oh my gosh, Suze, are you even on camera? Oh my word, I hope so. See, isn't that stinking adorable? Oh my gosh, so cute. I am so glad that you guys like it. You just bless my heart. I'm so glad that it could inspire you. That just blesses my heart. Okay, this might be one of my favorites. I love the handmade, but this one totally might be my favorite. Look at this stamp set. Okay, you guys have seen this one. This is the September special, right? You guys have seen it. Look at this adorable, teeniest, tiniest, cutest little font you ever did see. Okay, one of the things that turns me away from when I was going through my stamp sets are font that have like the big, sometimes the fonts will have like the big curly Y's or the big like funky tails on the letters and things. What I really wanted was font that was going to line up. I could push over to the edge of my border and not be like hanging out into my project, the card or the page or whatever, and vice versa. I didn't want to have to move it that far down from the border to give room for that like curly Y or whatever. So what I specifically looked for when I went through my stamp sets, to give you guys a few examples, is I wanted a font that was very condensed almost, if you will, for lack of a better word. And this Wishing You A was so perfect. Now let me share my thoughts on this, you guys. This is primarily, these 2 stamp sets that we're playing with now, the September special. One is primarily fall, and one is primarily Christmas. Like, this is all Christmas and holiday and winter-ish. You've got your bells and your snowflakes and happy holidays and all of that. But this image right here, this Wishing You A, is the reason that I will not part with this stamp set after it is retired. I usually part with all of my stuff when it retires. Because Wishing You A is going to absolutely probably go on the majority of the greeting cards that I create, because think of all of these. Wishing You A, happy birthday, happy anniversary, congratulations on your baby, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Thanksgiving. All of those other sentiments that we have that we so often use with our cards, I absolutely love when we're able to take two of them and they work together. Maybe it's still a little bit more of that cohesiveness, which is like my favorite word on the whole planet. But this is going to be such an absolute joy to put this all over my stinking cards. Even if I don't have room to put it on the outside, I'm going to put it on the inside, because when you stamp your sentiment on the inside, which many of us do, pardon me hiccups, wishing you a happy birthday, happy anniversary, congratulations, all of that type of thing. Think of all of these occasions that we give cards for that wishing you a is going to work with, because it's not connected to the Merry Christmas. You guys don't even have to cut it apart, which I actually do that a lot. I cut my stamps a lot. But this is going to totally be a stamp image I'm not going to be able to part with for that very reason, because I'm going to be able to use it all year long. Look how cute that is, you guys. Look how adorably dainty that is. It's adding such character to the outside of this cardstock without really overpowering it in any way. Isn't that absolutely adorable? I know, Janet, right? Like, seriously, you guys, we'll keep this stamp set forever just because of this really great image right here, right? Oh my gosh, I love it. I love, love, love it. It's so crazy the way my brain works. Oh my gosh. Okay, so wishing you a, again, just like all these others, guys, we are going to stamp your element first, and then you're just going to fill it in with your lines, okay? If I didn't have a camera in front of my face, I would get it a little bit further over to the edge of the cardstock, but I have a camera in my face, and nobody needs to see the hair on top of my head that's all knotted up, right? So again, wishing you a, and we're just going to connect our lines. Oh my gosh, you guys. I can hardly stinking wait to use this on a project. I can hardly wait. Oh my gosh, you guys, look how cute that is. Isn't that adorable? Pardon me, allergies. That is my favorite one of all of them, I think, because it's just very unexpected. Again, you're conveying an additional message. It's most likely coordinating with what you're working on or with the image that you're stamping on. But I just adorable. How will you remember to use it? Do you have stamps organized somehow? Michelle, I actually don't. You would not believe it. But like I said, I sell my stamps when they retire. Unless they're usually like a Western one or a country one that doesn't come around very often, I will keep those. I have about a dozen of those that I've kept. Other than that, I probably only have 15 stamp sets right now in my possession that I actually use for my business, because when they retire, I get rid of them. So I don't have to organize them. They're literally in a little teeny tiny bitty black, probably 7-inch by 7-inch crate. There's probably a dozen, 12, 15 of them in there. I got it from Walmart for $1, and that's how I organize them. I know that's so weird. I know it's so weird. But I'm definitely not a hoarder. I'm a business girl for sure. So this is my favorite of all of them, you guys. You don't think you'll look at that stamp set the same way ever again, right? Oh my gosh, I love, love, love it. And I'm telling you guys, when I was looking through them, the others, like, it's interesting the way that we all craft and create differently. Like the little icon images, I've never been a super big fan of them. They always kind of confused me about how I would use them. They weren't really big enough for a focal image, yet they were a little bit too big for like just an accent image. So I wasn't really, kind of get confused on how to use them. So, I learn whenever I watch other people's videos and I look at other artwork, that I learn different ways to use them. But as I was looking through here, this caught my eye immediately for what we were doing. And so hopefully that inspires you guys as well. So we're done with the actual demonstrating. I do have a couple more stamp sets that are over here that I didn't break open, but I thought you guys would like to think of them in this way as well. So these, pardon me, my allergies hate me. So look at this one. This is in the brand new idea book, right? A little teeny tiny, low profile sentiment. How fun are these, you guys, to go right around the edge of your cards? And think even if, okay, we're back to this again. It's, sometimes when I feel really strongly about something, I'm going to hammer it a couple times and you guys are going to roll your eyes at me, and that's okay, right? But even if your card is too cluttered on the outside and you can't embrace this technique of stamping and then journaling and connecting them, if it's too cluttered on the outside, do it on the inside. What a fun way to add up to add additional, you know, handcraftedness to the insides of your cards. So of course you would, whatever, if you have a stamped sentiment on the outside, and let's say it's a cute little, you know, happy birthday or something like that. So then you're going to grab one of the fun happy birthday sentiments on here, do a little bit of stamping around the border of the inside of your card, connect them with your doodles, and again, you've just brought forth that message that you have on the outside of your card to the inside. You can use coordinating ink colors to kind of bring in colors from the outside of your card. Again, I'm like working on brainwashing everybody to work on that cohesiveness, you guys. Bring your art to the inside of your cards too. Don't just let it sit on the outside. That's super fun, right? And so the same thing about, you could even take, let's see, this is a good example here without it really even being planned, but remember these little black stickers, okay? These little glitter stars. That would be something that you totally could take from the outside of your card, bring to the inside. Remember how we put the bling around the edge of it and then connected the lines? You could do that. So you could not only take stamped images that convey your sentiment from the outside of the card, you can bring them inside. You can bring in the colors from the outside by stamping in the different colors when you're doing the sentiments on the inside. And you also can bring in some of your smaller embellishments from the front side of the card to the inside. So think of all of the ways that it doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of added expense, but you really can just, it's like I said earlier, if there's a corner of something that you don't want, you've just not paid it any attention, there's no photos up there, there's no paper up there, there's no embellishments up there, so you're going to do a little bit of doodling just, to kind of convey the message that, hey man, I didn't forget you up here. This is a polished project from, edge to edge. This is the same thing with our cards. Don't stop on the outside. Put some pretty stuff on the inside. Oh my gosh. It'll totally be fun. And the thing is, you guys, it's going to look so different than what anybody else does. Oh my gosh, so fun. So this is another great set for what we were doing. Pardon me. And then a couple more examples. This is another great set that I noticed. This one is in the brand new book as well. Look at the little tiny bitty happy birthday. You can see it there. Remember how we were talking about low profile font that doesn't have like the curly QYs and the stuff that's hanging down. You want to be able to stick it up like next to the border of whatever you're doodling around. So this is so perfect. Look at the happy anniversary. That is absolutely perfect as well. So these are great fonts. And then one last that you guys could consider is creating something custom. Now, I know how you feel about using the little teeny tiny alphabets just like I do. You're like, oh my gosh, really? That's it. They're hard to pick up. They're difficult to get on the block. I know this, but it would not necessarily be something that you would need to change all of the time. Like if I was going to send a card to a friend or something and I wanted to stamp around the edge with a custom sentiment, I would most likely use something like "From Suze" or "With Love" or something like that. And so what I would do is I would put the letters on my block, and then I probably would not take them off until I needed them again. So, the "With Love" and the "From Suze" are just both things that I know that I could get with this alphabet without having to have another alphabet. Does that make sense? So this would be something that if I did a custom message, I would probably just leave them on my block until I needed them again. So you probably would not have to stick and unstick that often. And yes, I would absolutely line them all up on your block. I would not stamp them all individually because that will make you a crazy person in a darn hurry, okay? But this is just the last thing to make you think about, is that you guys could also use the little tiny alphabets to create more of like a custom message and that type of thing as well. So I think that I'm done rambling now, you guys. Oh my gosh. I hope that it was enjoyable for you. Like I mentioned before, I hope that you guys, even if you didn't do it during class, I hope that you will maybe take a few minutes. This was fun. I didn't have to think about this. I didn't have to worry about, a cutting guide or making something wrong or whatever. I just really could embrace being creative. And so this was really just a joy to do. Not only the class and visiting with you guys, but also creating the little cards. And so like I said, I'm just going to get my cheapy little hole punch and I'll punch some holes and I'll put them together with a binder ring and stick them in my drawer, and they will serve as inspiration for many projects to come. But I encourage you guys, grab some of your scrap paper, try some of these out. Even if you guys didn't do it live, if you want to do it during the replay, you're welcome to share the video with other people. It just brings me a lot of joy if I can encourage others and inspire others. That brings me a lot of joy. So feel welcome to share it. Just because it's on my business page doesn't mean you can't share it. You're welcome to do that. But I would totally love to see you guys create something with one of the types of doodling that we did today. So just like, we'll just call this, like, we'll fill it, okay, I'll pretend like I know what I'm talking about, sound like I know what I'm talking about. We're going to call it a call to action, okay? So if you guys would like to play along, if you would create a project, it doesn't matter what it is, there are no rules. It doesn't have to be close to my heart product or anything like that. Just create a project using one of the doodling techniques that we did tonight. It doesn't matter how simplistic, it doesn't matter how decorative, whatever you want to do. Just create a project and share it with me. You can send it to me in a private message. You can post it underneath this video if you want. It's absolutely up to you. I'm not soliciting anybody. I'm not poaching a customer from anybody else. I know I have a lot of sister consultants that are watching. Truly, that's not my heart. I would never in a million years do that. But just to get you, I'm a big carrot girl. Give me an incentive and I'm probably going to work even if I didn't want to, right? So just to make it a little fun for you guys to watch the video and embrace some of these techniques, just make any project, there's no rules, with a doodling technique that we learned tonight, maybe one that you've never seen before, and share that picture with me. And if you guys will do it by, let's see, this is Friday. How about I give you guys a week? How about we draw next Friday? So sometime next Friday, okay? So make sure you get it to me before Friday. So you have 7 days from now, okay? So I'll draw sometime Friday. Just send it to me in a message or post under the video, this main video. And I'll draw a winner, and someone will receive, we'll do it. I'll go through, you guys, like a stamp set or some bling or maybe a card kit or something. I'll send you a fun gift just for playing along, okay? Again, I know that we consultants are business people. I am not out to take a customer. I am not out to poach a customer. Nothing silly like that. We're just having a little bit of girl fun, okay? So create something fun. Anybody can enter. Anybody can play along. Create something fun, send it to me so that I can see it, because again, I want to be inspired by you guys as well. And I'll draw a winner on next Friday, and someone will win a fun gift from me. So no strings attached, nothing like that, I promise. Like, it's not, don't worry, I'm not gonna like blow your email up or anything like that. Nothing like that. Just, I think that girls love company, and I totally enjoyed getting to visit with you guys. And I feel like it seems like every time we do a video, there will be somebody new on, or a couple people new on, that I just haven't ever really got to visit much with, and we'll get to kind of interact, and then I feel like, hey man, I made a new friend. So my husband says that's because I work at home, and I do. I work at home all day long in my pajamas, and I usually only see the people that live in my house, except 2 days a week when I leave. And so he says, honey, you're only like that on camera because you're so desperate for human interaction. And he might be right. As silly as that sounds, he might be right. But it's totally fun to get to visit with you guys and hang out a little bit. And so thanks for joining in. And I hope that you were inspired and maybe you learned something fun this evening. And so again, feel free to share with others if you think that it would inspire them, and play along, you guys. I'll draw a winner, and someone will win a fun prize for me next week. So thanks again, you guys, and I hope that you have a wonderful Friday. And those of you guys that are already on to Saturday, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and just be a blessing to others, guys, and I promise it'll make your day better. So thank you so much again. I'm so grateful for each one of you guys, and I will see you soon.